Good morning. I am Paloma Escudero, Director of Communications at UNICEF. Thank you all for attending and welcome to this event. Today, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador David Beckham, UNICEF Executive Director Anthony Lake, and two young people who are here to represent children from around the world, Noor Sami and Rodrigo Bustamante, will launch an incredible installation created for UNICEF by Google. This installation, called Assembly of Youth, will bring the voices of young people to the heart of the United Nations General Assembly, to inspire change for the world's most excluded children and young people. This event will run for half an hour, and we will be having a photo call at the end. Please switch off your mobile phones because we are about to start. Now, I would like to introduce, no need to introduce, but I would like to invite United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to the stage.
UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador Mr. David Beckham, UNICEF Executive Director Mr. Anthony Lake, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be here today to help UNICEF bring the voices of young people to the forefront of this new development era. I thank David Beckham for his long-standing commitment to UNICEF and his work for children and youth. For the past 15 years, the 8 Millennium Development Goals have driven our ambition to build a better world. By setting clear targets, we have helped improve the lives of millions of people, both young and old. With the targets outlined in the Sustainable Development Goals, the world is lifting the level of ambition. The new global goals put people, especially children and young people, at the center of development. They prioritize human well-being, prosperity, peace, and justice. They promote respect for the human rights of all people. The goals speak to all people in all countries, calling for action from everyone, everywhere. Tomorrow, these goals will be adopted. This is the first step in this paradigm shift. The second step is listening to the people that these goals aim to benefit, especially children and the young people. That is why this Assembly of Youth project is so important. It gives young people a new channel to express their concerns and their ideas for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where economic, social, and environmental challenges cannot be separated. Our solutions must also be linked. The 2030 Development Agenda breaks new ground in how it links peace and security to sustainable development. It connects development to more accountable institutions and greater access to justice. It focuses on the root causes of our most difficult challenges, from extreme poverty to chronic conflict. It recognizes the power of partnership to achieve all our goals, and it makes equity a priority. It recognizes the rising cost of inequality in our world and the benefits of targeting the most vulnerable and marginalized. Creating a life of dignity for all means we cannot leave anyone behind. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all of us have a stake in the global goals, especially young people. They will live tomorrow in a world that will be shaped by the actions we take together now. I thank the UNICEF Executive Director Tony Lake and David Beckham, Goodwill Ambassador, for inspiring so many others to join us on this journey towards a better future for people, for prosperity, for peace, and for our shared planet. Let us act with ambition and commitment to reach that destination. Thank you very much.
Secretary General, we are very grateful to you for being here today and for your powerful words. Now, Mr. Anthony Lake, Executive Director of UNICEF.
Thank you, Paloma. Secretary General, thank you, David Beckham, for being here. Our friends from Google, thank you for being here. I love my job. I say it almost every morning, and I'm certainly saying it this morning, and today I really love it. Here I am, surrounded by virtual young people. You may not recognize them, but those are virtual young people behind us, full of ideas on how to improve our world through a very cool digital installation. And thank you, Google, for putting that up for us. And also surrounded, or at least in the presence of real young people. I'm not sure where they went, but Noor Sami and Rodrigo Bustamante for joining us. We'll be hearing from them soon. And the Secretary General, who's a great champion for children, and the legendary David Beckham, a hero not only on the soccer field, on the football field, but for 10 years in his role as the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, a hero especially to children all over the world. And thank you again, David, for all you do. This week, the General Assembly will ratify an ambitious agenda for building a better world, inspired and informed by the Sustainable Development Goals. And because today's children and youth, like those we'll be hearing from, will decide the shape of tomorrow. All children, especially the most disadvantaged, because if we do not reach the most disadvantaged children with the health and the safety and the learning and the healing that they need today, then the disparities and injustices that plague this generation will be repeated in the next generation. By targeting these children with disabilities from rural villages and urban slums, girls, so many others, we can help them break the bonds of intergenerational inequality. And thus, we can reach SDG 1, ending extreme poverty, at great benefit to economic progress and to human beings everywhere. Technology is helping us reach these children and young people. But as important, if not more, it is helping them to reach us, giving them not only a voice to be heard, but the chance to decide their own futures. Platforms such as YouReport, Voices of Youth, and social media channels can help young people not only be heard, but be heeded, even here in the halls of the United Nations today. In fact, technology is helping us work together in this common cause, to realize a future where every child, everywhere, has a fair start in life. Birth registration, the nutrition, the stimulation, and the protection that spurs healthy brain development, learning, health care, and the play and sport that nurture healthy bodies and healthy minds. But of course, it's not just cool devices. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit you here. My grandchildren will be very impressed when I go and tell them I hit David Beckham. Of course, it's not just cool devices like these that make the greatest difference. Technology depends on the drive and the dynamism of human beings. Good human beings like David Beckham, who is one of the world's most celebrated football players ever, could be sitting back and enjoying his success, but instead he is using his energies to bring attention to the plight and the possibilities of children everywhere. The UNICEF family is very lucky to have him. More important, the children are lucky to have him, and we're all lucky to have him here, and we couldn't be happier that you're with us today. Thank you, David.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I became UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador in 2004. It was one of the proudest moments of my life. Over the last decade, I've met children and mothers living with HIV in South Africa. I've seen starving children in Sierra Leone. And a couple of months ago, I met children experiencing severe violence in Cambodia. In each case, the common theme was the tireless work of the UNICEF staff, helping the most vulnerable children. I'd like to tell you one particular story that really affected me. I met a family in the Philippines, a mother, a father, that wanted to tell their story about their two young girls, Venus and Viana. On the night that the typhoon hit, the family were on the roof trying to protect themselves. The mother, tired, scared, exhausted, said to the father, "Can you please take Viana?" So the father did, obviously. He had Venus and Viana in his arms. Unfortunately, the father was knocked off the roof by one of the waves. He then woke up 6 hours later, holding one of the girls. This was the night of the typhoon. A day and a half later, unfortunately, Viana was found face down, and unfortunately she had died. This was one of the most devastating stories that I had heard. But then I saw the great work that UNICEF were doing by rebuilding houses, rebuilding families, and rebuilding schools. The rebuilding schools gave Venus and the rest of the children in the village a bit of normality. That story will never leave me. 2014 was one of the most devastating years on record for children. Due to conflicts, more than 15 million children were exposed to extreme violence, and many more affected by natural disasters. 2015 is proving to be just as bad. As a UNICEF ambassador and as a father, it breaks my heart to see children continue to suffer. That's why this year I launched my own initiative with UNICEF, the Seven Fund, making a serious commitment to help the most vulnerable children in the world. Every child has a voice, but too often they are just not heard. At this crucial time, as world leaders are gathering here in New York, and thanks to this incredible installation, their voices will be heard. I want to thank the Secretary General and the Executive Director for hosting me and allowing my friends at Google to give these children a voice right at the heart of the United Nations. Children all share the same hope for a better future. With the world focused on the new global goals, there is a real opportunity to make that hope a reality. I want a world where children can grow up safe from violence, free from poverty, and protected from preventable diseases, don't you? Join me in asking the world leaders to put children, especially the most disadvantaged, at the heart of the new global goals. I will personally not rest until that ambition is realized. Together, we have the power to save lives. Thank you very much.
Well, David, after your words, there's very little we can say. But now we are going to be listening to some of these young people who are helping us to bring the voices of young people to the General Assembly this week. Please, a round of applause to greet here Nur, Sami, and Rodrigo Bustamante.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm just a kid, arrested for building a clock, enslaved for my father's debt, raped for leaving the home, killed for the hoodie on my head and the candy bar in my pocket. I'm just a kid. When my brother goes to school, why can't I go too? When I drink from the river, where is my reflection? When you drag me from my bed in the middle of the night, can Teddy come with me? I'm just a kid. Do I matter? Does my life hold any value? Can you even hear me? I'm just a kid. But I am from a generation of wild diversity, connected, outspoken, and powerful. We are girls asserting ourselves no matter the cost. We are boys who never fear expressing our emotions. We are gender nonconformists living without apology. We are kids demanding our rights. We are just kids, but we demand to be heard. Thank you.
Every day, children are living in poverty, experiencing the effects of inequality, suffering from exploitation, and fearing the instability present in their homeland. Amidst these challenges, children still hope for a future where they can fulfill their dreams of becoming doctors, astronauts, politicians, and authors. The ratification of the new Sustainable Development Goals will help us build the world we so desperately want and need. I dream of the day when all the goals have been achieved, when world poverty has been eradicated, when gender equality has been attained, when world peace has been the reality. Now, I dream of every child achieving and living throughout their childhood. And furthermore, I want every child to have a dream. To complete these objectives, education has to be the priority, because the past cannot be altered, but the future can. More powerful than guns, bombs, and discrimination, education liberates children from a world full of despair and injustice. And furthermore, it creates a movement of hope. Today marks the beginning of this movement. It is time for the world to rally behind the youth. And furthermore, it is time that we, the youth, begin to create the world of our dreams. Our worlds have reconciled. Our voices for change must be heard. Thank you.
Well, Nur and Rodrigo are here with us today, but hundreds of thousands of children and young people from around the world are also here today with us, thanks to the Assembly of Youth that we are going to unveil in a few seconds. Thanks to this device that has been designed by Google, we will be so lucky that during the coming days we will have the voices of a lot of people telling us their dreams, their challenges, their proposals, their solutions, and hopefully every single global leader this week will be able to listen to them very carefully, because as you can see, perhaps they better listen to them if they want to be giving a fair chance in life to many, many kids. Now is the moment to watch a little video that is going to tell us what all this initiative is about.
My name is Elisa. I'm 9 years old, and I think every child has a right to grow up. My name is Brianna. This is the most important thing for children.
It's one thing all children should have.
My name is Mehdi. 16. For every child.
Everyone I know has lost someone to disease.
I'm scared of walking home all by myself. I want to stay in school so one day I could feed my family.
We have to leave our homes because of the violence.
Eliminate poverty. Fight disease.
Improve education and inequality.
Every child has a right to be heard.
This is an historic moment. It's the chance we have to ensure children are at the centre of the Sustainable Development Goals. It's our opportunity to change the future of the world and give every child an equal chance in life.
So, this is a historical moment, and hopefully, in a second, we are going to see how the Assembly of Youth is coming to life at the UN headquarters in the week of the approval of the new Sustainable Development Goals. So, welcome the voices of so many kids around the world who will be telling us what is the one thing they want the Sustainable Development Goals be changing in the life of millions and millions of children and young people. As you can see, this is what we are going to be having all week. The questions will keep emerging in the front screen, and we will be seeing how people around the world is giving answers to those questions. People in 5 continents, people who will participate through the U report, mobile phones, social media, and hopefully this will be one way that we can really make this historic moment a reality, and we will make sure that children around the world feel part of the new development agenda. So that's what we are here for, and we cannot thank enough our Google friends who made possible, who dreamt with us about the best way technology could help us to bring these voices here during this week. Well, we are arriving to the end of the event. We would like to thank again the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, of course, UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador David Beckham. We have to thank Nur Sami and Rodrigo Bustamante, an example of the dozens of thousands of children and young people blogging through Voices of Youth every day, telling the things they really care about. And of course, we have to thank our Executive Director, Mr. Lake, for the opportunity. Thank you so much. And now is the moment where we will have time for photos, a photo opportunity for all of you before we close the event. Thank you very much.
We'll bring them back right here. Let's keep them right here. All right, we're going to bring the ma'am.